Hello and welcome to Biology Interest. Today we're looking at the crayfish that's taking over the world. There's this crayfish out there that's bringing devastation to ecosystems in Europe and Africa. It's called the marbled crayfish, and it's able to rapidly reproduce asexually, producing many identical copies of itself. Now, it's thought that the reason this crayfish reproduces asexually, where most others don't, is that they have 3 sets of the 92 chromosomes in their cells instead of the normal 2. This is believed to have been caused by 2 slough crayfish, a different species of crayfish, from 2 different areas of the world being brought together in an aquarium. They then mated, and one of these crayfish is likely to have had an abnormal sperm or egg cell, which kept 2 copies of its chromosomes instead of half the number, like a normal gamete. Now, instead of being destroyed, this resulted in a cell with 3 sets of chromosomes in the same cell, and this for some reason wasn't destroyed and it grew into a normal crayfish. Now, this mutation, random occurrence essentially, allows female crayfish, marbled crayfish, to reproduce without a need for their eggs to be fertilized, so they reproduce asexually, which is interesting in itself. Now, what's also interesting is how this crayfish seems to be rapidly able to arrive in a new area where it's never been before, with many different conditions such as differing temperature, differing pH, and it can survive essentially. Now, clones normally are meant to be at a disadvantage because they lack the genetic variation and the ability to adapt rapidly to a selection pressure, and so they can't survive if conditions change from what they are normally used to and normally adapted to. Now, it's argued that they could be able to adapt to these changes because of the 3 sets of chromosomes, which contain enough genetic variation for them to adapt quickly to different conditions, even though they're clones. Now, an example of this that's been studied more in depth is the plant parasite called a nematode, which achieves this in a similar way, having 3 sets of chromosomes. Now, marbled crayfish are causing serious trouble around the world. They eat anything, they steal habitats. They have made the news recently because scientists have been studying their genome for hopefully to advance science in epigenetics and areas like that to understand why they work with these 3 sets of chromosomes. And they're also threatening other crayfish species and causing damage to their habitats. And so much so that they've been banned by the European Union anywhere in Europe. Now, these crayfish are pests. They are getting in the way. They're destroying habitats where they shouldn't be. But they are an interesting creation, created randomly, and for no reason. They formed randomly. And there's something which normally reproduces sexually with a normal crayfish, and somehow they've become able to reproduce asexually, completely by chance, and it's a pretty amazing thing, but they're taking over the world. Stay tuned for more videos from Biology Interest. Thank you.